friends, adventurers, nomads, and people who have probably been on the receiving end of people taking an odd look at your vehicle and going, "What is that person doing? They look sketchy. I'm calling the police." Welcome back for another episode of Iwouldcampthat. Just hanging out in the Walmart parking lot right now. I've mentioned in quite a few of our videos that I'm a shift worker, do rotating days and nights, 4 on, 4 off. I'm currently between my first set and my second set of nights, so I've got to stay up late. That's just how I do it. Just easier to just stay on the nightlife, and then of course switching back to days is always brutal, the worst part of the month for me. So the plan for tonight, I figured hang out with you fine folks while I'm staying up late and sipping McDonald's coffee. I have got a few little things I want to show you all in the sleep space that I've meant to show in the last couple of videos and didn't get around to it. Just tiny little changes that we've made to the sleep space to try to make things a little more convenient, more efficient, just work and function a little better. And I mentioned in some prior videos that last year, while working a disgusting amount of overtime, I put aside a bunch of money and I got a really nice laptop for video editing. And that has been an absolute game changer for getting content together. So I've brought that tonight and I've been looking for an excuse to show that off on camera as well. So I figured what better way to do that when I'm up late on night shift mode. I'm usually up editing videos anyway. So what better way to do that? We'll hang out in the back, enjoy being outside, and I can get some editing done. It is a lovely night out, nice and cool. We've had some pretty hot days, but we've been getting some rain lately. So that's really helped to cool things down. And there's quite a few other people that are camping in their trailers and truck box campers. So I look like the only truck camper here tonight. And a bit of a mess back here, that's nothing new. Just threw a bunch of gear back here quickly. And yeah, gonna have a nice little night in the back. So before we climb in, one change that we made recently that I want to show all of you, might be a little hard to see, but I'm gonna get my flashlight on here, is the underside of our bed. So we have these 2x10 legs, 3/4 inch plywood for our sleep platform. And when we put these on originally, Rita's dad helped us with this. You can see that there's a little bit of a hinge system that runs all the way down the leg. So what we had before was we had hinges on each leg. So, and the idea was that if we had to pull the bed out, the legs would be collapsible. And then we could just lay the bed flat, make it a lot easier to store. But we were finding that we don't really pull the bed out very often. We pull it out like maybe 2 to 3 times a year just to clean back here, or on the rare occasion that we need to actually use the back box to store something or move something. So we just found we weren't really utilizing that feature. Another problem we were having too, and any eagle-eyed viewers could probably notice it in some of our older videos, is a lot of these legs, especially this one here, the wood on this one is a little warped towards the back end where you can't see it. They would move quite a bit and they would kind of sag off at an angle because it was able to collapse. And they're not doing that anymore because we've rendered it unable to be collapsed now. But what was happening was when this leg and like this leg over here would sag a bit, it would cause the sleep platform to move down a little bit. And anybody that does any kind of vehicle camping, has a sleep platform like ours, you know that even like losing a fraction of an inch on your sleep platform can really mess things up, especially when you really need all that space. So we were getting to the point where things like we have this box back here. Sorry, correction, we did have a box back here, but I think I pulled it out. We had a tote back here with a bunch of like emergency food, like soup and stuff. And because this was sagging down like probably about 1/2 inch, it was getting really difficult to slide the slider in and have that actually be able to have the clearance to get through. So now, so we've still got the one hinge on in the middle. We left that on just to save us some work. Over on this side, you can see a couple, you can see that one L bracket there. We did others on each leg. So basically it's just nice and sturdy. Can't collapse anymore, so we lost out on that feature, but hey, at least stuff fits in here nicely. The bed isn't sagging. And then also too, I was concerned that the legs kept wobbling like that. It might cause some damage to the legs and to the bed platform itself, and we wouldn't want that. And we're up in the sleep space now. I've pushed a whole bunch of bedding and stuff off to the side just to make a lot of room here for my legs and gear and all that stuff. So one thing that we did change back here that I'm actually really happy with, and it's such a simple little change. So down here, usually that's a little more organized. There's also an empty coffee cup down there. But down here, this is kind of like our toolbox area, you know, just screwdrivers, you know, ratchet, socket wrench, just miscellaneous little things that you might need. And of course, we keep our supply of tape down there as well too. With this box, it's nice to have, but unfortunately, a lot of the tools that we throw in there, like stuff with trying to keep it organized was a losing battle. You'd want to get like electric tape and you'd literally have to pull like everything out of there just to find one thing, and it was just getting frustrating and not very functional. So Rita and I put our heads together and we decided, in our ongoing effort to try to be a little more organized and efficient, we just got these dollar store lunch kits here. And they're very soft, just a generic lunch bag, very soft, very malleable and flexible and everything. And what we're doing with these is, instead of just having everything piled into that box down there, we just simply have placed select items in this pack. So admittedly, I sometimes forget which one is which. I should probably label them. But this one here, as you can see, we've got some screwdrivers. We've got one of those utility knives, tape measure, little tiny pair of scissors. We've got this wrench right here, which is the exact size that we need if we need to loosen or tighten the clamps on the canopy. So having that in there and having that ready to use. And yeah, just any other miscellaneous tools can go in there. And then over here in lunch kit number 2, we've got everything related to tape. We've got our handy dandy T-Rex tape, which I use for the Reflectix panel back here on our rear window. We've got some of this orange flagging tape. We've never really had to use that, but you know, just if we need to. Some electric tape, some of which is pretty old, but yeah, it's there to be used if we need it. Some more yellow flagging tape. A pair of scissors in there as well too. I'm probably gonna have to give these a bit of a wash, because the last time I replaced all that tape on the rear window screen there, they're a little gunky with adhesive right now. And got a few of these little clips back here too, like to hold papers together and stuff. These were from a mosquito netting experiment that I tried last year that was a spectacular failure. Didn't even make it to video. So they're just back here if we need them for anything. And we've also got this scent bomb spray back here as well too, which doesn't get used a lot, but you know, when it's summer, if it's like plus 30 and it's getting kind of toasty and a little rank back here, then just give that a little spray, and it's like a vanilla odor thing to help freshen it up a bit back here. Despite some of the garbage and stuff down there right now, note to self, need to clean that up. I'm really liking this system, because rather than just having a whole bunch of tools just kind of spilled all over the place and disorganized, literally just throw these down there, pull the toilet paper and that coffee cup out right now. And then, yeah, just very simple, very organized, keeps everything together. Everything has its place. And one awesome thing too is, even with a tailgate seal, dust and dirt is still going to get in. And a lot of times like our tools and our tape and stuff was just getting covered in dirt and dust. So having it in these cases, they'll take the brunt of that. And honestly, if these get really dirty, I mean, I don't really care. We can take them out, empty them out, and clean them if need be. And up by where I sleep, I'm just gonna take the curtain right off. This Walmart I'm at is really chill about people staying overnight, so I'm really not too terribly concerned if anyone knows that we're here. So that is unfortunately pushed a little far over, so I'm just gonna pull it up here. So we did the same thing down here up by my head where I sleep. Prior to making some changes here, I had this like accordion pouch thing, like one that you would hang vertically in your closet. I had it down here horizontally, and I was determined to have like each pouch have something specific inside of it, and it just really wasn't working. Like the pouches would kind of collapse on themselves, stuff would get buried, and then I'd forget about it. So now I've just got this kind of pouch over here, just another lunch bag from the dollar store. I'm gonna go ahead and fish that out. So just oh, actually, no, this is Cabela's lunch bag. It's probably just one that we had laying around at home that wasn't being used. So I don't think I have very much in this one. Let's see, I've got some lip balm, some Pepto-Bismol, nail clippers, and some melatonin. I don't use melatonin much anymore. Find it kind of makes me a little loopy. And as you saw with that lunch bag, I'm barely even utilizing the space. So I could have, you know, Tylenol in there. I take medication for an underactive thyroid. I also take diabetes medication as well too. So I gotta have extra meds in there if we're out for a couple of days. And yeah, just lots of little things, and just keep it all in the one bag. That way it's just easy to find. So I'm really liking that system so far. And back over by the tailgate in the ammo cache box, which I keep changing what goes in there. Right now I got a can of bug spray, there's some wet wipes, there's a first aid kit, and we have a couple more of those lunch kits right down there that aren't even being used. So eventually we'll find a use for those and continue that system. One of them, I don't know, maybe something first aid related, or I'll figure something out. And as you can see, even with the tailgate seal and the fact that like there are some gaps in the back there, like there's still going to be some dirt and dust that's always going to get in. So those kits that aren't even being used already have some dirt coated into them. But, you know, such is the life. So like I said, not a huge significant change, but when you're going out for longer trips, it can be really frustrating. You know, you set up your rig, you organize it, and you're like, okay, everything's got its place. I got this thing here. Anything you can do to make it a little easier on yourself, a little more organized, more efficient, really makes all the difference. And I like that system, because I used to get so stressed out, like looking at the toolbox that we looked at there at the start. I used to get so stressed out looking at that. It was such a mess, and having to if we were out with friends, and it'd be like, oh, like you need a screwdriver or you need some tape, and I'd have to like literally pull everything apart looking for this. So now it's just, you know, everything's got its place. It's got its designated pouch. It's great. And on the camera content creation end of things, we have our camera bag over here, which still houses our main camera, batteries, and the USB piece that we use to transfer footage over from our micro SD cards to a portable hard drive, so that it's doubly backed up between the cards and the hard drive. Rita's mom, huge shout out to her, always supporting our weird adventures and passions and all that stuff. She had this old camera bag that she just wasn't using. It was just sitting in her closet. So she gave it to us, and Rita had the idea of basically just getting anything GoPro related and putting it in here. So we've got the GoPro itself. We've got a portable charger that we've used for longer, like if we go on a hike or something, anything where, it's really going to be murder on the battery charger. And we've got a lot of cloths and even like a pair of socks in here just to provide some cushioning. I'm still adjusting to the fact that we have 2 separate bags, but I do like Rita's idea with this, because before it was just getting to the point we had camera stuff, we had GoPro stuff, and it was just getting to be too much. It was kind of getting to be a bit of a mess. Plus there's always that concern that like something's going to scuff up like the lens on the GoPro, or the camera itself has a lens cap, but we just don't want to risk anything getting damaged. So we've got a lot more space to play with in this bag now that we have the GoPro stuff over in this bag. So that's a nice little change. And finally, making its debut on the channel is the laptop that I slaved away doing a lot of overtime to put aside money for. I got a Legion Lenovo laptop last year, a higher end laptop, purchased at Memory Express in Edmonton. Fantastic place to go for any of your computer needs if you're in our neck of the woods. So a huge shout out to them. They have been wonderful to deal with. So this laptop, it had 16 gigabytes of RAM. I did immediately upgrade it before I even purchased it. I had them upgrade it to 32 gigabytes of RAM just to help with video editing and higher resource power and such. And underneath the laptop, I've got a cooling pad, which just a generic cooling pad that I purchased off Amazon. I can't even remember. It should say what brand it is. It says Acheson. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's an okay cooling pad. If you're doing any kind of video editing work on a laptop, I would definitely highly recommend getting some form of a cooling pad. And just to help it out, I like to put, as you can see, I've got Rita really likes the cartoon series that was on the Disney Channel, Gravity Falls. And then I've got a few books underneath it just to create that space to help with airflow, just because this thing will get really hot if it's just sitting flat on a surface, especially if it's like cloth or a bed or a mattress or anything like that. And that just helps, especially when you're exporting videos from your editor, because that is very resource intensive and your computer will get very hot. When I purchased this laptop at Memory Express, really impressed with the customer service there, because I was actually, I'd done my research. I had a pretty good idea of what I was looking for. But when I was looking at laptops, I was actually looking at one that was quite a bit more expensive than this one. And Memory Express is a place where they're going to come out, they're all about computers. Very passionate people that have worked there for a number of years. That's their career. That's their passion. I'm sure they probably, have commission for big high-end sales as incentive. And the guy asked me flat out, what are you going to use it for? And I told him about our channel and video editing, and that, I just don't want to be doing that on my home computer anymore. I'd also like to be able to edit while I'm on the go. I'm literally sitting in a Walmart parking lot and I have my laptop out. And he actually talked me into getting one that costed less. And I was like, I'm impressed that you're not trying to, push me or talk me into getting something more expensive. And he says, well, look at it this way. He says, I don't want to sell you something that you're going to be unhappy with to make a few extra bucks. I want to sell you something that you're going to be satisfied with, that is going to serve you well for the foreseeable future. And then, you can come back and do business with us again in the future, customer satisfaction. So no, I felt really well taken care of there. And there you have it. The laptop is open. DaVinci Resolve is open. And this is where all the magic happens. Our beautiful little outro there. You can see how the potato chips are made. What I was doing when I first got this laptop was I was editing off of a portable hard drive. I've said in the past in previous videos, I'm not a huge fan of portable hard drives just because one little bump and they can stop working. Heck, recently I had one, I was editing, and then literally I took a break from editing. Rita and I watched a movie and the thing did not move the entire duration of the movie. and then tried to boot it up, and it wouldn't boot up. Eventually I was able to get it to boot up, and so I could get stuff off of it. And I am really good about backing things up on my home computer. But yeah, no, I like to avoid using portable hard drives for my main source of editing, just because they're not super reliable. Though I do carry a couple of portable hard drives in the laptop case here, just in case we are on a longer trip and I do need to back up footage. But I always make sure if I back up footage to a portable hard drive that I keep it on the portable hard drive, but I also keep it on the cards as well too, just in case something happens to either the cards or the portable hard drive. This laptop has been such a game changer. Unfortunately, last year, because I was working so much overtime, I missed out on pretty well most opportunities to go fall camping. Missed out on a lot of winter camping. Plus, I was also editing our really big Crow's Nest Pass series that we released. We did last year, but didn't get all of it up until earlier this year. But this has been such a game changer, because now, like, before editing, like, I have my home computer, which is it's an older but a nicer, like, gaming computer. Like Rita and I do play video games. That's one of our other hobbies on top of camping. But like gaming on a computer, especially if you're playing some like newer, more labor intensive, resource heavy titles, that's hard on a computer. And then stack video editing on top of that as well too, that's very labor intensive on a computer. So I like having this laptop now where I can do the video editing on the laptop. My home computer can just focus on being a gaming / general duties computer, living its best life. So hopefully get more longevity out of that and not run it into the ground. And like I said before, I'm on the go. Like I'm literally sitting in a Walmart parking lot right now in the back of a truck, and I have my laptop hooked up with a cooling pad plugged into a giant behemoth of a battery bank. Like, what a time to be alive. We did have someone in a little gray 4-door car, didn't get a maker model, that pulled up like right beside us, like 1 or 2 stalls over, but looks like they took off while I was rambling about the beautiful laptop. It's always good to be mindful about what's going on around you, especially if you're urban stealth camping, just because you just never know what people are up to. I find most people I encounter mind their own business and they're pretty good, but you get the odd person, especially with a truck like mine and a canopy, you get the odd person that likes to come and try to scope out trucks like that because they think it's going to be an easy score, thinking there's probably tools or something in the back. But little did they know, aside from some screwdrivers and a wrench and some other miscellaneous stuff and tape, the only real tool back here is this guy. Oh, and one other handy thing to have as well too. Maybe some people like to edit with a laptop mouse. I sure don't, and if you do, that's great. I secretly am judging you and think you're a monster. I've just got this little USB wireless mouse here. Normally I have some form of a mouse pad or something, but I mean, this actually kind of works okay. Yeah, cursor's moving just fine. You know, this works. Use what you got. And on the power side of things, let's see how that is for wattage. So we're sitting at 98%, and output is about 40 to 42 watts. So according to that readout, I could basically run my laptop for like a day and a half nonstop. Now, the wattage will increase when I turn my USB fan on, which I'm going to do that right now, actually. Let's see where we're sitting. Yeah, this little fan doesn't use a lot. I've used it on our little Jackery, our Jackery 1000, and it's usually like maybe between 3 and 5 watts. And as you can see, the wattage really hasn't changed much. We're teetering up to like 44 watts there. Well, I'm going to turn the camera off, dive into some footage. I won't be sleeping in the Walmart parking lot because, like I said before, I am staying up all night. So I'll definitely go someplace a little more isolated and quiet. Sleeping in a busy Walmart parking lot is not my idea of a good daytime sleep, that just sounds like a terrible play. So we'll go somewhere a little quieter. But for right now, just enjoy the night and just work on some more editing and sip some coffee. And I will follow up with you folks when it is time to move and head somewhere else. I've still got the laptop and everything set up in the back, but just stepping outside to get a little bit of air and stretch my legs. It's going on 4 in the morning right now. And it is just super peaceful out here. Got a few seagulls that are chilling out in the parking lot, and just the odd semi-truck that's going by, but yeah, just nice and peaceful out here. There's a nice cool gentle breeze rolling in too, so I'm definitely enjoying that. One thing I do love about being a shift worker is when I'm doing night shift switchover and I do something like this, it's really nice to just be out at this time of the morning. Other than the odd vehicle going by, it's just nice and peaceful. There's nobody here. I mean, there's people here that are camping and in their trailers and such, but yeah, it's just nice and peaceful, nice and cool out. And yeah, it's just I've always been kind of a night owl, even since I was a kid, so it's just kind of nice to be out enjoying the night when most everybody's at home sleeping. And I threw my 2 coffee cups in my little trash receptacle back here. It's getting pretty full, so I'm gonna have to empty that out next opportunity I get. And I did have my coffee in the back there, but I forgot to bring my water thermos up, so time to rehydrate. So editing's been pretty productive. I got about the equivalent of 1 full video edited. There's a couple little things I'm gonna need internet access for, just music and a couple little effects that I gotta throw in. So I'll make sure to do that when I'm back home and I have internet access. But yeah, no, it is really cool just being able to, like I said before, just hang out. It's 4 in the morning, hanging out in a Walmart parking lot, doing content in the back of a truck. Like, seriously, what a time to be alive. Well, now that I look at my watch and see that it's 4 in the morning, I think we're gonna pack her up and go find a place to do a daytime sleep. It's been fun, but I'm getting a little tired and yawning a little too much. Normally when I'm staying up in preparation for my next night set, I'll usually try to stay up till maybe 6 or 7 in the morning, because I work 7 to 7s at work, so I usually just try to stay up till when I'd be getting off shift. But sometimes, I only make it till maybe 3 or 4 in the morning, and that's totally okay. So I'll get the laptop put away, get everything packed up, and we will go find some place to call home for I would usually say for the night, but it's going to be for the day. Good afternoon, everybody. Slept really good. Was in bed by around 5:30 a.m. was the last time I remember looking at my watch. And it's almost 3 in the afternoon, which is about usually 2 or 3 in the afternoons when I aim to be up when I'm on night shift mode. Woke up around 2:30 and kind of just laid here and waited till I felt human again. We did get a bit of rain, and the forecast is calling for more rain later today, so that made for a really nice, cool sleep. And other than hearing vehicles going by on the highway, I haven't heard anybody go by at all, so it's been nice and peaceful. Nobody bothered us. And I said this last time I did a daytime sleep, and this is just kind of another reminder for myself. Really need to get some dark fabric on these stealth panels over here, just because some of the sunlight does bleed through those a bit. Not enough to really bother me, but if I really want to get it truly dark back here, That would definitely help. And after running the fan all, I was going to say all night, but I guess all morning into the afternoon, Jackery 2000 only went down another 2%. It was at 90% when I went to bed this morning, so this guy is an absolute beast. Now we can at least see the area that we parked in. Thank you very much for joining me for one of my iconic night shift prep nights. It was really fun getting out in the truck and just being able to enjoy being out, even if it was, just hanging out in a parking lot. And it was really cool being able to not only edit a video that we've recorded before, but also to be recording a video while getting another video edited. That's just a win-win all the way around. But I think I'm gonna get packed up here, head back home. Had a really good sleep here. It was just great to be out. The cool temperatures are appreciated. And I will see you folks next time. Stay classy. Thanks for watching.